Genesis chapter 8, verse 1. And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. Okay? So, verse 1, it just describes God remembered Noah. Remembering means God acted with mercy, transitioning from strict justice to compassion. So, I'm going to give you an example, right? Genesis 19, verse 29. And it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelled. Okay? So God remembering Abraham just shows God's compassionate mindfulness of the people that is supposed to be a part of his divine plan. And you can see this also in Genesis chapter 30, verse 22. And it says, and God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her and opened her womb. Okay? Why would God remember Rachel? Is because Rachel is a part of God's divine plan. So God is mindful of Rachel because she plays an important role. So when she conceived Jacob and Esau, that was an important role for God's plan. So when it talks about a wind passing right over the earth and the waters assuaged, it kind of reminds me of when Moses actually parted the Red Sea. Okay, and the east wind helped Moses do that. See what I'm saying? So let's go to verse 2. It says, the fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. Okay? And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. So the water, which comes as a punishment, receded through a wind sent by God, drying the land. Then the ark resting on Ararat highlights the start of the return to dry land. The civil year starts in October to November. If you add 7 months, you'll get April through May. Add another 3 months, you'll get the 10th month, which is somewhere between July and August. So why is this important, right? Because there's a lot of guesses going on, but in the general consensus or in the general population, they think that it's May through June, right? For the 7th month. And they think that for the 10th month, it's August through September. But they counted incorrectly. And the reason why they counted incorrectly is because they did not start the first month with October or November. They started the first month the next month after October or the next month after November. Okay, so that's not how we count our 12-month cycle. How we count our 12-month cycle in the modern day is that we start with January. So let's say 7 months from January, right? You got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, right? So if we're starting from October, then we need to know that October is number 1. So October, November, December, right? January, February, March, and April. See what I'm saying? But they'll have you think that it's May. Okay? So this counting system is important. All right? So that way we could be able to get the right calculation and the right counting system. Because right now this counting system is kind of messed up based off of our modern way of counting the months within the year. So if they're basing it off of the civil year, which is October to November, then May and April should be on there for the 7 months. All right. So let's go to verse 6. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. So as you can see, the raven said, bump this. So if you let me go, then I'm out of here, right? The dove actually came back, right? So verse 10, it says, and he stayed yet other 7 days. And again, he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening. And lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. Okay? And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. Okay? So as you can see, the raven is seen as selfish, accusing Noah of wanting to destroy its kind, while the dove symbolizes peace and dedication, returning with an olive leaf, which is a sign of hope. All right? So let's read verse 13. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. Okay? So the earth was fully dry on the 27th of either October or November. Okay? Because it was the whole full year. Right? Then it says exactly 1 solar year after the flood began, confirming a full cycle. Okay? And what does it say in verse 14? And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. Okay? So, as you can see here, this is Noah's, this is Noah's full year. So pretty much Noah's birthday passed and everything else, because he's 601 now. See what I'm saying? But it tells us that he made a full cycle, right? That he made a full cycle, which is 1 solar year. But then it tells us that in the second month of that full year, right? So it's not the first month of the full year, it's the second month of the full year. So we're talking about November to December. You see what I'm saying? Not October to November. But they'll tell you that it's October to November. But it's actually November to December, which is pretty much the second month of this upcoming year. You know what I'm saying? That we're talking about, this upcoming civil year that we're talking about. So if you're going to start a year from October or November, then this second month, it should be November to December. But hey, man, they're calculations, right? So let's go to verse 15. And God spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou, and thy wife, and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. Okay? Verse 18, and Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, Okay, it says every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. Okay, so Noah waits for God's command to leave, demonstrating obedience. Okay, the return of every animal signifies that all species were preserved and ready to repopulate. All right, so when he says be fruitful and multiply upon the earth, then that means that they were ready to populate all over the earth. Okay? So this was God's divine plan. Verse 20. God's covenant with Noah. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, right? And took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Most High smelled a sweet savor. And the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of his youth, neither will I again smite any more everything living. Okay, so every living thing, as I have done, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. All right. Noah instantly offered sacrifices, showcasing true worship. All right. So we could be able to get into why sacrifices are important in the book of Leviticus. But for right now, we're just going to stick to what we're going to stick to, which is the covenant. God promises not to destroy the earth again, acknowledging that the devising of the human mind are evil from youth, thus accepting the need for mercy over absolute judgment. Okay? So the Most High is showing us mercy right now by saying that he is not going to destroy the earth through a flood anymore. And he uses the bow, right, which is the rainbow in a lot of people's eyes, right, as a sign for him not doing so. Okay? So I'll see you guys in chapter 9. I love you guys. All praises to the Most High. Heya, heya. I'll see you later. Shalom.